All right, well, my next guest offers an alternative to winemakers looking for capital, but don't really want to go to the normal route of going to the bank. Joining me now for Small Business Big Ideas, Peter Kaufman, co-founder and managing partner with Bacchus Capital Management. Thanks for joining on this. This is a fascinating story, really, because every day we're talking about how it's harder and harder for individuals to get loans, let alone small businesses like wineries. Are you sort of offering an alternative when a winery wants to grow?
Absolutely. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me on. So we're a private equity fund whose focus is the wine space, and most particularly wineries. And this is working the way private equity is always supposed to and not always does, which is we found a market niche. These wineries and the owner, founders, winemakers needed more capital, usually to grow and expand. They're tapped out with their banks because banks who we work with happily in this situation have a formula. And if you're out of that formula, you're out of the box. And we provide something different. So we got the market niche, and what we do is we back entrepreneurial, talented, passionate winemakers.
So these are smaller winemakers based out of California?
California, Oregon, soon to be announced perhaps in Washington.
And these are investments in what sort of range? In millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
Okay.
That's right.
So you've already established some pretty interesting partnerships.
Yes, we have. We love to partner with these owner-founders, winemakers.
Give us examples.
Well, right here, I just happen to have some bottles of Sabraja Family Vineyards. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here's an Oregon Pinot, Dobbs Estates, Joe Dobbs. We just announced a big follow-on investment in Joe. And Coupe, some Syrah, and some Chardonnay, Central Coast Bob Lundquist, award-winning winemaker in the Central Coast of California.
So let's talk about the Sabraja partnership. How's that going so far?
It's going great. They're ahead of plan. We last year did about 14,000 cases. This year we're ahead of plan. The growth is great. Ed is such an interesting guy. He's a third-generation California winemaker. He was the chief winemaker at Beringer, of which you may have heard. And then he started his own Sabraja Family Vineyards. He needed capital to grow, and he couldn't get enough from banks. And we stepped in, so we made an significant equity investment. We're partnering with.
So the payoff for you has been great so far.
Well, we love working with it, and this is, as I said before, private equity working the way it's supposed to work. We have freed up Ed. Ed's a genius. Yeah. He's got more 90-plus rated.
That's a family-owned business. He followed in his father's footsteps. That's a great story.
And so we're freeing him to do what he does better than almost anybody in the world, which is make and sell fabulous wines. And so it's working out really well.
What's the trend of the wine industry overall, would you say?
The trend is going nicely. The wine business and industry continues to grow. People are still drinking. You know, with the Great Recession, I'd say that some of the price points came down with the bottles that they buy.
But you found a niche.
Absolutely.
All right, Peter Kaufman, excellent story. I mean, it's really an alternative to heading to the bank where it's tough to get a loan right now. You guys are stepping in, and
we're partnering for high growth with great talented people.
Awesome, Bacchus Capital. Peter Kaufman, thanks for joining us.